Hello, my name is Terry Harrison. I'm going to show you how to prepare and paint a poppy field in watercolour. One of the biggest problems of starting a painting is getting the image onto the paper, and I'm going to show you an easy way of producing the drawing using trace down paper. Now, tracing down paper is like the old-fashioned carbon paper, but instead of using ink, it uses graphite. So you put the tracing down paper face down onto your watercolour paper. Make sure your image is taped down so it's not going to shift around. This technique works very well if you use something like a biro. So carefully draw over the branches and twigs, pushing firmly onto the paper. When you finish going over the image, lift the tracing, and there's your drawing ready to start painting. So the image is on the watercolour paper. I've put some tape around the outside so when the painting's finished you remove the tape and you have a nice white border. The next stage is putting on the masking fluid. Now, masking fluid, liquid latex. You can put masking fluid on using a brush. This is a brush called the masking fluid brush. But before you use masking fluid with the brush, a little tip. If you coat the bristle with some soap, this will protect your brush from the masking fluid. Then dip the brush into the masking fluid and mask off the signpost, the fence posts, the stile, the crossbars, then the flowers. Remember, when you're painting flowers, always have odd numbers. And for the grasses, we're going to use a ruling pen, then allow the masking fluid to dry. Next, I'm going to paint the sky. Wet the sky area first with some clean water. This is using the brush called the golden leaf brush. And you wet the sky area down to the horizon, through the tree. Make sure there's no standing water. Then, with some ultramarine, not too strong, start at the top of the sky, backwards and forwards, down to horizon. Then a shadow colour, ultramarine with some burnt umber. So grey colour. Place in the cloud formation with the dark colour first. Then with some kitchen towel, take off the light of the clouds, just gently dabbing and lifting the colour off the paper. Then allow that to dry. Now, with a page from a magazine, use this to mask off the horizon with the foliage brush. Squeeze the water out of the brush. Start off with a middle green. This is country olive, not too wet, and stipple along the edge of the page. So hedgerow, tree, tree, hedgerow. Then with a darker colour, this is midnight green, put some shading underneath the hedgerow and down one side of the tree. Take that away. Change the angle. Another hedgerow. Then change the angle. So country olive, maybe just a touch of midnight green. There's the hedgerows. When the hedgerow is dry, use the medium detail brush and paint in the fields. This is midnight green with just a touch of ultramarine, fairly pale, and just wash that into the first field. Some sunlit green into the next field. So this is the yellowy green. A bit too bright, so just water it down so it's pale to there. Some raw sienna. And drop that into the third field. Again, let that dry off. Still with the medium detail brush, I'm going to paint in the tree trunks with country olive and some burnt umber. So this is more green than brown. So blend that together. So start with the tree trunk at the bottom and then paint up towards the top. Go over the pencil lines. Branch at the bottom there. Right the way up. I'm not painting all the branches in. This is quite a large brush for some small detail, so put the main tree trunk and branches in. Then with a stronger, darker mix of the same colour, so country olive and burnt umber. The sunlight's coming from the right through to the left, so put the darker colour down the left hand side for the shade on the tree trunk. Just underneath that branch there. Then with the half rigger, same colour. This is a much finer brush, and paint in the smaller branches and twigs into that tree, up to the top of the tree. Right, so that's the first tree. When that's done, move over and do the other tree on the right hand side. Same thing. Again, let the paint dry.